Hi, my name is Dwayne and welcome to my woodworking shop. I think it was Norm that said you can't have too many clamps. And I agree with that, but what you can have is a place to store those clamps. And what I've done here is I mounted all my C-clamps on this wall and I put it on a piece of OSB board, and the OSB board is slanted to the back so the clamps don't fall off. And I'll show you what I mean here. Behind the OSB there's two pieces of 2x4 down at the bottom, and it splashes the wall up on top, which gives it a little bit of a slant. I put all my big C-clamps up on the top and all my little C-clamps on that little board across the bottom. And what I did on each one is I mounted there's a little branch actually with a screw hole through it, and that gives each clamp a place to sit. And then over on this wall I have a few of the little spring-loaded hand clamps, and they're for smaller jobs. And I even got these little bitty ones. They come in handy for certain things. And then on the end of my workbench, where we tend to use them more, I moved the tabletop so you can see what we have. We put a couple of dowels across the end of the workbench, and I have quite a few different size hand clamps, spring-loaded hand clamps. They're handy to get to. Of course, when the tabletop is where it's supposed to be, they're underneath there, but you can't see them very well, but they're handy to get to. And finally, the way I store my bar clamps and my pipe clamps, I build a little bracket, a little shelf here that holds the clamps, the bar clamps. And what they do is they fit down in a PVC pipe, and the pipe goes through this top board, goes through this board, but it can't go through this one because the hole's too small. It does allow the clamp to go through. I'll bring that in a little bit closer so you can see what I've done. But it holds about 20 clamps or so. I had to put a few here on the end of this board because I was running out of room in there. And then my short pipe clamps are on this 2x4 behind, and I have a few more that didn't fit on my system just laying loose there. But this system works fairly well. It's easy to keep clean, and it's easy to pull out any one of the bar clamps. The ones in the back are a little bit longer than the ones in the front. And then for my real long pipe clamps, I store them up here next to the ceiling in a little bracket I made. Probably can't see that too well, but they have about like 8 feet long when I do a big project. And that's the way I store my clamps. My son works out here a lot and he uses them, and like Norm said, you can't have too many clamps.